Recently, I got an email from Boslla LED asking me to test out a new product of theirs. Now, I get a lot of these emails from companies with various LED lights asking me to test them out, and usually I ignore them. However, this one's a little different. The Boslla LED is a light-changing LED, or a color-changing LED. It has two different LED chips on it. One has an amber light and one has a white light. Because of that, you can actually switch it between three different colors. You have the white light, which is a 6,500K light. You have a warm yellow light, which is 4,300, and you have the plain yellow light, which is 3,000K. It also has a feature where it will have a warning flash. So I was actually really interested, and I said, yeah, please send it to me. So they sent it free of charge. I'm going to install it, check it out, and tell you what I think. Now, because my 5th gen is a pre-facelift, I have the reflector style headlight. So these will not work with the pre-facelift low beams, but they will work with the fog lights. If you have the facelift 5th gen 4Runner, it will work with the low beams or the fog lights. And you can pick either one. The same style bulb, the H11 bulb, will fit in both of them. Installation on the fog lights is going to be the same on both sides. You're going to have to turn on the vehicle and turn the steering wheel away from the side you're working on. That way you can move the plastic fender liner so you can access the fog lights. In order to bend the plastic fender liner out the way, I'm going to remove each of the bolts. There's 3 down here and then there's 1 underneath. It takes a 10mm socket to remove these. So that is the daytime running light at the back there, and then this is the fog light. To remove this, I just pull down on the tab, pull the harness out, then I'm going to rotate the bulb about a 1/4 turn to the left. Next step is going to be to put the harness on that they provide. I actually recommend doing that before you put the bulb in, because it does have to go in a certain way. There's a small little bit that sticks out on there that has to go into a hole on the bulb. So plug that in before you put the bulb in. Plugging this part into the factory harness should be pretty easy though. It does have to go in a certain way because it's diode. If it doesn't work, you've done it the wrong way around, so flip it. With the new one, first thing we're going to do is remove the glass cover and place that to one side. And then to install the new bulb, all I'm going to do is make sure that these 3 plastic tabs that are on the bulb line up with the 3 holes that are where the old one came out, and then I'm going to rotate it to the right. So push, rotate, and now it's in. This new LED will rotate within the housing, so if you want it orientated a different way, you can do that. And that's it. So installation is actually really simple. You may want to zip tie their wiring harness up out of the way, but I mean, the process is done. On the right, I have the new LED. On the left, I have the stock. It does appear a little brighter with the new LED, plus I can change the color. So let's see what else we've got. Changing the color is pretty simple. All you have to do is cycle the power, just like that. If you do it rapidly, it'll switch on to the next color. If you turn it off for an extended period of time and then turn it back on again, it will reset itself back to the original white. So there's no chance of you turning on the vehicle next time and having it blinking or on the next color over. All right, it is nighttime, therefore it is dark, because that's usually what happens at nighttime. So I'm going to head out and we'll test out these fog lights on some back roads. So I'm out on the back roads now. I have the camera set on full manual mode. At the moment I've just got the stock headlights on low beam. I'll flip it over to high beam so you can see what they look like. So that is high beam. And then back to low beam, and I will switch on the fog lights. Now from the camera you probably can't see a whole lot because the fog lights are lighting up really well, but they are doing a very low area around the vehicle. It is actually going to be probably great for off-road because they've got a very wide spread. There's a nice light from the fog lights, much brighter, much better spread than the stock fog light bulbs. Now I'll flip them over to the middle color. It's a closer color to the stock fog light bulb. Again, a much better light, good spread. This would be great for off-road. And finally, let's try yellow. In terms of quality, I've been very impressed with them. The design seems solid, the structure appears to be all aluminum, or if you want to pronounce it correctly, aluminium, and the seal, the rubber gasket around them, fits very nicely onto the stock headlight housing or stock fog light housing on my 4Runner. There is one concern I have with it, however, and that's with the cooling fan that's on the back. It is a very small plastic fan, and I do have concerns with it getting gummed up with mud if I'm using these off-road. So that is something to be aware of. I'll have to check it and clean it out if necessary. They are waterproof rated. It's IP67, so they're going to be good. I'll be able to wash them. The fan should be good to be washed as well if it gets clogged up with mud. Now the only problem I have with these LEDs, using them as a fog light, is if I'm going to flash my headlights, it is going to change the mode. So I went from white to mid to yellow, and now my hazards are on. So obviously flashing the headlights is not going to work out well. Maybe it would be best just to use these off-road. I honestly think that these lights look awesome, and the color changing is such a neat feature. The LEDs are a little brighter than the stock low beams and fog lights, so if you've got a reflection housing headlight like mine, they're probably a little too bright to use as low beams. They are perfect for fogs though, since the fog light housing is angled down. If you've got a post-facelift 4Runner, this would make great low beams too, since you've got the projector housing, which focuses the low beam pattern better. If this is something you're interested in purchasing, I've got links to them in the description below.